Today I'm making this perfectly cooked medium rare ribeye roast beef. I'm going to show you how to cook it in the oven with multiple other items at once with no timing constraints, so the meat always comes out perfectly done. It's part of this classic English Christmas dinner. I've got a separate video showing how to make the Yorkshire pudding and the popover, and another one showing how to make the gravy. Let's get started. I am making a roast beef for Christmas dinner using a ribeye roast. And I'm going to show you how to cook this using some sous vide and then a reverse sear so that you can remove all of your timing issues. When you cook roast beef with Yorkshire pudding, the temperature is different between the beef and the pudding, and the timing is different, so it's difficult to do it all in one oven and have them both come out good at the exact right time. That's more than my family of 5 can eat, and so what I'm going to do is cut it in about in half, and we'll take the small end half this time. They've already pre-cut the bones and just left it attached by a flap, and that's to make it easier for you to carve. But that just adds size and thermal blockage when you're trying to cook it. We're not going to eat these with the meal, so I'm going to take that off. It's still a great piece that you can cook separately. Go up against the bones, cut that off. Try to leave the most meat we can. All right, that leaves us this. Much easier to cook and butcher. Okay, we'll try it right about here. All right, there you go. Now, I'm going to take off a good bit of this fat. All right, it's got meat down in there, so I don't want to take off too much. Okay, there's a good amount right there. The problem with cooking an expensive roast in the oven with multiple other things is that they all have different times and temperatures. This popovers have 400 degrees for like 20 minutes, then you got to cool them down to 350 for 15 minutes to get the inside. These roast onions, all you got to do is heat them up. They could be anything. This Yorkshire pudding, 400 degrees for 25 minutes, but this roast is 350 degrees, maybe for an hour and a half, maybe for 2.5 hours. How do you get them to all come out at the same time without ruining your expensive roast? If you delay for any of these things, the temperature of the inside of the roast goes up, and all of a sudden you've ruined it and it's medium instead of medium rare. The answer is that you take that off the table as a timing factor. You pre-cook it via sous vide, so it's perfectly done already, and all you're doing is popping it in the oven while you cook this popovers or your Yorkshire pudding, and you just let it brown at 400 degrees. It's already perfectly done on the inside. Right now we're just going to vacuum seal it up in a bag. This happens to fit in this, I think it's a quart bag. Just barely. If it doesn't fit in one of these, you can just stick them in a regular Ziploc bag and suck the air out. And I'm using this Walton's vacuum sealer. All right, that's sealed up good. Almost 1.5 kilos or 3 pounds and 4.5 ounces. Let's fill up this 12-liter sous vide container. It's just a plastic container with the lid, and we're going to want to have it enough that it covers the meat and also covers the vegetables. So it needs a little bit more. All right, we're going to set that at 130. 130 is my target temperature. And to get it going quick, I'm going to overdo it initially to 136 so it approaches that at a faster rate. And then before the meat even reaches 130, I'll drop the temperature down to 130 to keep it there so I don't overcook the meat. All right, it's been 47 minutes at about 137. And of course, that is well more than I want the roast to be done at. I want the roast actually cooked to about 130 in the center. And so by going high for not too long, it let heat penetrate quicker, and yet only the outer millimeter of the meat or so will get, up to 137. And you're going to sear that anyways. So it's a much more rapid way to do sous vide. There's a bunch of videos on it online. Inside, you got to be careful if you do this overshot temperature way. It is quicker, but you have to be able to monitor the temperature now. I've done that tons of times and poked in and seen what the temperature is, so I know that this is safe for this amount. But when you're beginning, they got internal thermometers now that you can stick in there and monitor the temperature, or just measure it a few times to be safe. All right, the internal temperature is 126.5, all right? So that's like a rare. And when I roast this in the oven, it'll come up to about 130. Let's wipe it with a rub. I'm gonna take and coat this to start with a little olive oil infusion that has tarragon in it and rosemary, okay? And I'm gonna use lemon pepper and pepper and garlic salt. Actually just garlic powder and this Kinder's steak blend seasoning. All right, you can use whatever kind of rub you like on here. Okay, we've got that all coated with an herb rub we like, and now we're just going to put that in the oven at 400 degrees to brown the outside, 126 on the inside. Okay, let's see how it looks. Wow, look at those. Looks great. It's all puffed up. Fantastic. If you like this kind of content, I'd sure appreciate it if you could take the time to subscribe. Click that button and you'll get notified when I post a new recipe. It'll help me grow the channel too. I read all the comments and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this classic English accompaniment. Okay, it's browned up. 132, 133, 134. All right, here we go. Cutting that meat. Looks great. Perfect. There we go, Yorkshire pudding with roast beef and gravy. Enjoy.